There it is. We're coming live. Boom. We are on Facebook. Boom. We are on YouTube. And we are here to yak football with you. It's Tuesday night, everybody. Hopefully you're getting a chance to watch this before the waiver wire clears. Whether you're watching it live or recorded, we're glad to have you. Glad you stopped in. We are on Facebook, so you asked for it and you got it back. And we are on YouTube. So if you're watching on Facebook, catch us on Facebook, shoot over to YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, and help us out over there if you don't mind. Also, check out Rob Machado, who laid down that sick track for you and for us. His music is fantastic. Go over to Reverb Nation and catch Rob Machado over there. Listen to his music. It's fantastic. Without further ado, my co-host, Roop, there it is. How the hell are you, brother?
How am I? Listen, Week 1 was great and everything. But you know what? I didn't have any gray hair week 1, and now I do. Week 2 was a total fiasco, but I'm not going to panic. I think that's key for week 2.
That is absolutely key. Look, we are only in week 2. I have a couple of 0-2 teams. It's okay. I'm not worried about it. They're all going to be in the playoffs, and I'm not going to sweat a thing about it. Hey, look, guys, if you're 0-2, this is the way it happens sometimes. If you were going against Henry, you probably lost this week. I definitely had one of those teams. I definitely played against a guy who had Henry and Cup on the same roster. I had no chance at all, even after what Adams did last night, although Mr. Rogers, Adams, and Jones certainly did get me a win as well.
Lucky you. I actually had Henry and lost, so that tells you what the rest of my team did is sat on the bench. So that one hurt a lot. You know how bad it feels to lose with Henry on your team? That was probably like a tear the whole day, you know. So.
Yeah, I can see that. I would probably cry about that too. But have no fear, because that's why we're here. We're talking week 3. We're going waiver wires, ads, drops, and possible trade bait now and in the future. We're just going to jump right in. We're not even going to mess with the rest of it right now. We'll get into that later as far as injuries, people you want to look at further on down the road. We're going to get right into the top ads of the week. These are the guys that you're going to want to hone in on. Make sure that you put your request in already for them. If you didn't, go ahead and change it and fix that up. Roop, who do you got first on your list?
Actually, you know, with some people dropping, I mean, there's a lot of injuries between week 1, week 2, and, you know, someone like Ben, where you have to kind of look for a replacement if you did pick up another one. Tyler Heineke is playing at Buffalo. He's only rostered in 4% of the leagues, but he might have to throw a few extra touchdowns because Buffalo can put points on the board. He did throw for 336 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I think he's going to have to do more than that to get the job done. So he's going to be forced to throw more, even if it is garbage time points. And if you're looking for someone, I wouldn't mind taking a swing and a miss or a home run. Who knows?
He might be able to dice up that top number 3 rated Bills defense, number 3 against the pass. But Ben was able to take him down barely, but he did it. Miami was not. So you don't know what's going to happen. But, you know, Heineke might be the guy to do it, because the nice thing about Heineke is nobody's got film on him. He's a rookie. And I mean, like, there's literally no film on this guy other than the time he played Tampa last year. So he's 3 starts in, and the first one probably doesn't count. So, you know, last Thursday is probably the best footage you're going to get of him, and that's not going to be enough to tell a whole story. So I look for Heineke to do pretty well regardless of the Bills' top-rated defense. Do I expect them to win that game? I don't know, probably not. But, you know, it doesn't matter because it's all about the points. That's something else I want you guys to remember this week. Hey, look, points matter over stats, okay? So we can talk about targets all day. We can talk about how many times someone's been picked off. Trevor Lawrence got picked off 3 times and was still in the top 10 in week 1. So, you know, stats points over stats. So we're looking at the fantasy points and the probability that these guys are going to put them up. Since you brought up a quarterback first, I'm going to bring up a quarterback too. I'm looking at Teddy Bridgewater this week. Bridgewater running 12th overall in every format, and 0 interceptions. All right, this guy had 2 1,000-yard receivers last year with Carolina and another one at 800. I mean, that's almost 3 1,000-yard receivers on the same team. I'm not putting Teddy Bridgewater in the Hall of Fame, but I am going to say the guy gets it done. He didn't have C-Mac. He did have a good feeling with Davis, but the man got it done, and he's getting it done against this year. What I really like about Bridgewater is he has the receivers. We saw what Sutton did this week, and I'm putting the call out on anybody that's in Denver's offense, especially receivers. If you haven't picked up a Denver receiver and there's still one left, go ahead and get one. We saw Sutton go for 163. Patrick put up some points with the touchdown, and I think Bridgewater's just going to pass it around, and I think that's evidenced by those 1,000-yard point totals in the 800. And check out his schedule coming up. He's got the Jets, which is kind of run-of-the-mill pass defense, or about in the middle. Baltimore right now is sporting the worst pass defense in the NFL right now. He's got them coming up in week 4. He's got Pittsburgh, who's sporting the 28th worst defense in the NFL. And then he's got the Raiders, which the last 2 games have been complete shootouts. And so he's got a great schedule coming up. If you need a quarterback, one of your quarterbacks isn't doing you so well, go ahead, make that switch, grab yourself some Teddy Bridgewater on the waiver wire this week.
Yeah, Teddy Two Gloves might get it done. He takes care of that ball, and I agree with you 100%. There is going to be some shootouts, and he might be your guy. I mean, speaking of another quarterback, and I'm hoping you actually will tell me more about him, but he is rostered in 51% of your leagues, but sometimes he's hanging out there. He's playing against Cleveland this week. I'm hoping that's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a fun game if somebody stays hurt and stays on the bench. But Justin Fields, I really want him to go out there and sling the ball and have some fun. He looked decent so far, but give him a start, give him the whole game and see what he can do against Cleveland's defense, which sometimes looks good and sometimes looks like, what are they doing? So we got to watch out for that. I really like him. If he's there, pick him up, take a chance, because if Dalton's injuries hang out for longer than just a week or 2 or 3, you might actually get some value there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's sitting at QB 33 right now. Of course, he doesn't have the starts that most of these quarterbacks have. But I mean, look, the guy last week he went 6 of 13, 46% passing. You know, that not great, but it's his first week in. He's coming in off the bench, which he did better in week 1, but he only had 2 plays and he ran one of them. But, you know, he's got 10 rushing attempts. He's got 3.1 yard rushing average. He only got 4.5 points, but Cleveland, now he's going to be ready. He's going to get some film. He is, Dalton is day-to-day. We don't know what Dalton's going to be. They're listing him as questionable right now. That could change. We're going to watch the rest of the week on that. But we all know that Dalton is eventually going to sit, and chances are Fields is definitely going to have some success. He's got a good lineup coming up. He's got a shootout possibility with Detroit in week 4. He's got Las Vegas again in week 5, who we know does shootouts. Green Bay, again, horrible pass defense down there in Green Bay. I was looking for the number. I don't see it. But then he's got Tampa, so you might want to sit him that week, but he's got San Francisco and Pittsburgh, both really giving up numbers on passes. So, when Fields gets in there's a good chance, he's going to put up numbers. So I don't disagree with you. If you got room on your roster and you can grab Fields now is definitely the time to get him when he's only 49% rostered. The last quarterback that I want to touch on is one that people might not expect, and that's Mr. Daniel Jones up there in NYG. We saw him kind of ball out at Washington. He put up 97 yards on the ground. He's currently listed number 5 in the league, which is pretty ridiculous. He's got 64% completion percentage, 67 rushing attempts. This guy's tried to run the ball 67 times. 0 interceptions. He does have the fumble in week 1, but 0 interceptions. He's got Atlanta, who's 24th against the run next week. So if he wants to try and run a little bit more and give Barkley one more week to rest, he can do that. Then they've got New Orleans, you might want to consider sitting in that. But then they play Dallas, who's the 31 ranked against the pass. So and we know Dallas and the Giants are always going to sling that thing. So Daniel Jones, again, another one. If you miss out on Bridgewater or you're just not a big Denver fan, he might be someone that you target this week to replace your underperforming Jameis Winston or Ben Roethlisberger, who came down with a pec tear, or maybe if you went ahead and grabbed Tyrod Taylor, we know he's down. So Jones is definitely another good look at quarterback. There are options and really good ones out there.
Yeah. Now that you said that, we're gonna have to pause the show so I can go pick up Danny Dimes, because I didn't know that many rush attempts, and I'm sure some of them were, probably getting sacked or something. But it just something like that is kind of something important, and he is sitting at the top. I said last week he has to ball out. He has to set that stone in there, like, this is my job, or they're going to be picking someone else. And right now he's looking really good, and he's very quietly in the top of the league. So don't be the last one to pick him up or just miss out on him.
He answered the call. You put it out there. You put the challenge out, and he must have heard you. He listened and wanted to let you know that he's paying attention. What's that?
He was our other fan.
That's right. Yeah, he was the other guy on there. That's okay. Hey, so let's move on out of the quarterback arena. Who do you got next?
I don't have any more quarterbacks that I really am searching for. There's a couple of rookies out there. I want to pump the brakes there, because if you're hurting that much for a quarterback, maybe all of your quarterbacks went down in any given week. That's you might as well just enjoy your weekends differently. But do you have any more? Or do you want to move on to someone else?
No. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next position. What do you got?
I got running backs, and here's the thing.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at running backs, I'm looking like, okay, who's going to really put some points on the board? And some leagues are different than others. But when I went to a running back heavy league, there was nothing on the board. There was nobody that I was really looking for, and injuries are all over the place. So if you do have one of those roster spots where you could kind of pick up your backup of one of your good starters, now would be the time to kind of look into that, because you don't want to get caught with next week, your top guy drops and you can't even outbid him, or the waivers, or however your league works. You don't want to be caught in that position. So if your running backs are kind of light and you need some more room there, pick up your backup on your best one, let's say, and try to go that route, because everybody's dropping like flies right now. I hate to see it. So just be very careful of that.
Yeah, groin tears everywhere. Groin strains. We're seeing a lot of hamstrings, high ankle sprains, things like that from the running back. So yeah, definitely. Handcuffs are good. Watch those backups, and there's a lot of good target shares going on right now too. What do you got at running back this week?
Actually, nobody particularly, but if you do have running back by committee, don't be scared of those, because if you learned anything this past week, is somebody's going down. Like, that just seems like every week somebody is. I don't have a running back to pick up, because search your own team and their backup, or even the committees that are still out there on the boards, whatever your league shows. It's okay if it's a committee. Somebody's going to win out that job. And if you need running backs, just pick that best one, because that is going to be important, because it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, a lot of people talking about picking up Pollard and stuff right now. I'm not here to discourage you from doing that. I would expect you to understand that he's probably going to be a boom or bust guy. Look, they got Philly coming up next, so that's give or take. But then they're going to play Carolina, who has the #1 rush defense in the entire league. Then they're going to play the Giants and New England. So all middle-of-the-road defenses. Again, Dallas is kind of splitting that. They're trying to get Zeke back on track, but Pollard has really been coming through. So he's ranked number 11th in the NFL right now, and he's 46.3% roster. I expect to see him get picked up in a lot of leagues this week, but just be cautious of what kind of performance you're going to expect from a running back committee guy. He is definitely in a shared position, and most of his stuff has come on the goal line in the red zone. So that's nice when they get there, if they need to get there.
After the next couple of matchups, they're all tough matchups. I think they have a bye. So if you were to play Pollard, last week was your chance. Like you're too late. Like don't jump on it. I mean, if you got a deep league, sure, go for it. But if Zeke goes down, everybody is going to go for him. So if you got room, take him. But temper the expectations for the next 3-4 weeks for sure.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about Chase Edmonds. I've seen a lot of questions on him. We are going to talk about that once we get out of the ads, and we're going to talk about CEH. A lot of people really worried about CEH, and I'm going to tell you why you might not have to worry about him and that you can make him pay off for your team as soon as we get done talking about the waiver wire pickups you need to make this week. So let's move on to receivers. I've definitely got a couple of receivers that I want to talk about. But as always, I try to defer to you first. So who you got at receiver that you're really looking at and liking this week?
It's kind of funny that we're going to start it out this way, but if you lost someone like Jarvis Landry this week, he's going to be gone for at least 3 days or 3 weeks. Sorry, excuse me. And he's going to be on IR for a while. We don't know when he's coming back for sure. And one league I was looking at is the only one with 3 touchdowns so far is someone who we put the thumbs down last week was Zach Pascal. Now he got another look in the end zone. If you need that filler, now's the time to kind of like not be too excited because of how many times he's really getting looks, but he is getting looks in the end zone. He is touchdown dependent, but if you need to fill that void, it's not a bad idea. It's just starting right off.
Yeah, just be careful because we know that Wentz, of course, has 2 sprained ankles. We don't know if he's going to be playing again. It's going to be up to the rookie to step in there. But he might do something again. There's no tape. He's got to, he definitely got some pepper on the ball. But he's going to have to settle it down a little bit. He did throw that pick at the end of the game, but if the rookie comes in, he'll settle down, and we'll get to see. Take a look at Campbell as well, because he got a lot of targets as well. I want to talk about first of all, I want to talk about who not to pick up. So a lot of people, including myself, were looking at Hunter Renfrow, and I was very, 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 very on board with Hunter Renfrow and the whole Oakland situation. Of course, Waller owners got disappointed this week with his 1 target, but let's talk about the Raiders here for a second. Look, in the next 5 weeks, they are going to face the number 8, number 4, number 5, and number 1 best pass defenses in the NFL. They have a horrible schedule. If you were looking at the passing game, looking at Derek Carr, a lot of people looking at Carr this week because his numbers are huge. Please remember, he's played an extra half a game than anybody else has. 2 overtimes in 2 weeks. He's got a half game on everybody. Of course, his numbers are going to be bigger, but horrible schedule coming up. Number 8, number 4, then they got Chicago, then number 5, number 1 pass defenses. So just be real careful if you're looking at that Las Vegas team. They've got a mountain to climb. But let's go to a little more positive look. If Mike Williams is still out there, you need to grab that guy. Rostered in 84% of the leagues. That means 16% of you are in leagues where Mike Williams is somehow still available. Number 5 receiver after 2 weeks, 15 of 22. His longs are low, so those long yards long catches aren't cutting into his stats. He's got Kansas City, so they're going to be throwing the ball next. He's got Oakland, they're going to be throwing the ball next. He's got Cleveland, who's middle of the road, and then they play Baltimore, worst pass defense in the NFL currently. I mean, Mike Williams is just set up to succeed. If he is there and you don't have him, you are wrong all day long.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm in one league where he's still available, but there's not many people in that league, so all the teams are stacked. But you're right. If Mike Williams is still there, I think he's put up 22 points every game so far. So
something like that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous. I mean, he's just balling out.
Jump on that. I mean, he's one of those guys you kind of seem to count on, and they are going to be throwing the ball a lot. Apparently not to their running back, but hopefully that changes for him as well. I got somebody special that I found out that was like, why are you still here? And he's only owned in 4% of the leagues. Minnesota, KJ Osborne. So far, he's 12 of 15 for 167 yards and a touchdown. That's numbers you can get behind. I mean, Minnesota's throwing the ball, and surprisingly, all their wide receivers are doing pretty well. So if they're going to continue to do that, and some quarterback named Cousins is actually lighting it up right now. So if you drafted him late in the league, you got a gem right there. I'm sure, because I know he wasn't off in the first 6 rounds, but you got him late, and you're hopefully not having high bench points, because I love to do that too.
Yeah, KJ Osborne, number 19 in the league right now, PPR, and that's with Thielen and Jefferson both there. He's 12 of 15. Last week his long was he had 15 points last week, but he had a long of 64 and a touchdown, so that counts for 12 of his points. So without that catch, he's only got 3 points. So tailor it down a little bit, but he is getting targets. I mean, 15 targets. 12 catches. That's nice. He's not pulling a DJ Chark where he's caught 4 of 16, only catching 25%. KJ, he's getting throws and he's catching his throws. And this week he did something with it with a 64-yard touchdown. There is competition for the ball, but he's putting up some points. So maybe he's one to look at. He's got Seattle, 24th worst pass defense in the league this week. So another chance for success. I'm not going to discourage you again from picking up KJ Osborne, even if you only keep him for a week. You let him put up some numbers and you trade him. Cleveland, Detroit after that. Just make sure you trade him after that Detroit game before they go up against Carolina's number 1 ranked pass defense, or at least have something on your bench so you can possibly sit him that week if necessary. So KJ Osborne on my list as well. Now, one that everybody is looking at, this is the one you've been waiting for, of course, is Rondale Moore, rookie out of Arizona. We told you last week on yards after the catch to beware of Christian Kirk, that he has never had more than 6 touchdowns in a season. Watch out if you're going to pick him up, because he's probably going to let you down again. Still a lot of season to go. If you picked up Kirk, you may still get something out of him. Don't get me wrong. But Rondale Moore is definitely looking to secure that number 2 role. He is 11 of 13, which isn't bad. Again, another 17-pointer last week, but 12 of that comes on one play with a 77-yard touchdown. So 13 of that. So he's looking at 4 points without that play, but he did have that play. So if you had him on your roster, you got your 17 points. And again, they're looking to throw him the ball. He's got Jacksonville 25th rated pass defense next week. Then you can sit him on the bench for the 4th rated pass defense of the Chargers, but bring him right back out for San Francisco and then Cleveland. Look, this guy's got potential, and he's definitely looking to be the number 2 guy in Arizona. Rondale Moore, he's definitely my number 1 ad as far as wide receivers go this week.
Yeah, he actually is showing like a lot of promise. I mean, I was eyeing AJ Green in a lot of my leagues, late rounds. That was my deep pick. I was thinking, like, after a while, I was like, maybe AJ Green or Rondale Moore. Like, who's it going to be? And right now it's going to be a toss-up, because even AJ Green got a touchdown last week. So, and I think he got 15 points. So they're fighting, and I mean, Kyler Murray can give everybody a touchdown if he's throwing 3-4 touchdowns a game.
Kyler Murray destroying the NFL right now, just destroying it. I honestly thought that this might not be the year for Kyler Murray. I will eat the crow and admit that I was sorely mistaken. 689 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You don't care, because he still got you your points. The guy's averaging 35 points a week. That's ridiculous, folks, to average 35 points a week. That's 5 points higher than Tom Brady, who threw 5 touchdowns last week. So, plus he's running it. He's got 10 attempts for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. It doesn't help you if you're looking at if you're holding on Chase Edmonds right now.
Right.
But again, Chase Edmonds is going up against the Jags, who also have the 25th worst rush defense. Before they play the Rams, then they play the Niners, who have the 27th worst rush defense. So don't worry about Chase Edmonds too much yet, other than the fact that he's only getting a 38% share of the runs because Kyler Murray is not afraid to take that ball. So, but if you got Kyler Murray, you're very happy right now, and don't like you said, Root, there it is. Grab some of that Arizona offense because there's plenty to go around.
Yes, that Arizona offense is really hot right now. I hope it happens all season long. If you did take, because you had to take Kyler Murray really early, it's actually paying off for you so far. Hopefully, you got those wins the first 2 weeks. But I really do like what he's doing over there, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
2 weeks from now, they've got the Chargers, who again have the number 4 ranked pass defense. Honestly, look for Arizona to break that down and knock the Chargers down a peg or two, if you will.
The Chargers defense is gonna not be number 4 after they play them. Just saying. But I'm gonna go ahead and move on to unless you have any more wide receivers you want to talk about.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay, I got a tight end and only one because he's only owned in 1% of leagues, so he is available. 8 of 12 for 85 yards. And he didn't get a touchdown, but he did get a look in the end zone for a 2-point conversion, and that's Jack Doyle. Now I know what you're thinking.
He's sharing with Ollie Cox and all that. Wentz is hurt, blah, blah, blah. But
who knows? But I've been looking at him. I've been watching him. He looks good. He's running strong. And, he has been up there in the tier of like, hey, this guy is on someone's team and starting. So if he continues this trend, he also plays indoors. This is something that you can look at like, well, okay, if he's getting those looks, he's getting those targets, that is beneficial, especially if you took everything else early and you're hurting a tight end or somebody got hurt. This is the time to look at him and just take a glance. Just go over to your league, take a glance at him to see if it's something you like.
Yeah, I actually saw that pass. I'm pretty sure it came from the new guy. Nice big long pass downfield when they needed it. I think the new guy threw the interception actually going to Doyle on like the next play. But he's already looking at Doyle. He's looking at that tight end position, letting it get downfield and trying to use that tight end position. So, yeah, I think Doyle could definitely pay off for you if the new guy gets in there especially. But even if he doesn't, look, tight end position is so thin. If you don't have one of the top guys, if you don't have the Hawkinson, if you don't have even Waller, Kittle is disappointing you right now, but we know Kittle's going to pick it up. You're not worried if you have Kittle right now. You're disappointed, but you're not worried. So, after those top 4 guys, Fant looking really good, of course, but after those top guys, look, it goes way down after that. So if you can find a diamond in the rough, I think Doyle has just as good a chance to be one as anybody out there. So I think that's a good ad if you absolutely need. You don't necessarily need to waste any fab money on that. You might be able to just wait till after the waivers clear and pick him up.
I agree. Gronk's not going to get you 2 touchdowns every game. So, if you are playing.
He definitely, this Brady might be on a mission, so I don't know.
I'm kind of hoping they are. It'd be magical. But, I mean, he's got a lot of playmakers there. And
again, there's a lot of people that eat up the ball in Tampa Bay. And the defense is doing it now, too. And what's funny? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually have the 30th ranked pass defense in the NFL. They're one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL, despite the fact that they took 2 to the house this weekend. So, again, the points matter, not the stats, people. So if you had Tampa Bay's defense, look, they had they got about 22 points on the season. I think they had 19 this week. So, 30th ranked pass defense, I don't care. I got 19 points out of them this week. So points above stats. Just remember that, guys, when you're looking stuff up on your own. Who else do you have, if anybody, for ads this week? There it is.
I do not have anybody. I mean, I'm curious about the defenses because they're confusing right now and who's actually going to step up. I picked up the Cardinals, and they didn't do what they did the first week, and I watched someone who didn't do anything the first week and then just jump back up. I mean, it's really going to be one of those hit and miss weeks,
It's
and
going to
I
be who they're playing because the Cardinals actually they've got the ninth best pass defense in the NFL, but the rush defense is middle of the road. They're actually 26. It's not even middle of the road. They're one of the worst rush defenses. So depending on who they play and the skill set of who they're playing is the
yes,
kind of expectation that you really should be looking at. And it's that way for so many players. You hear the term boom or bust, and that really just means watch the schedule, look for who they're playing. And if you do that, you can really be successful swapping people in and out of those positions.
yeah, I agree. When you talk about defenses, you have to look at who they're playing. Are they playing someone who has a rookie quarterback coming in? Is a rookie quarterback playing against a defense who has their top guys out? You look at those both sides of the ball to really pick your defense each week, unless you have the number one that's just blowing everybody out of the water. But if you're just trying to you play in the waivers, look for those the rookie quarterbacks or somebody injured slightly, torn pectoral muscle, anything like that. Make sure that those top defensive backs and linebackers are in the game, because if you lose some of those top guys, you may not get the points that you actually expected. So you do have to do a little bit more homework if you want to pick up one of those defenses.
Or you cannot do anything and you just come join us here at Yards After the Catch. We'll do it for you. Well,
Or
we'll
you
get
can
in
just
those
get
numbers.
lucky.
Absolutely. Luck is a nice thing. I just want to add a lot of people looking at Cephas this week. Hey, look, if you're looking at Cephas, he's 7 of 13. Okay, he's less than 50% on catches. He does have the touchdown each week, but he's not putting up big numbers. Wide receiver 33, which could be worse. But if you're going to take that chance, Cephas may not be the guy based off some of the other guys that we put out there, KJ Osborne, Rondell Moore, Mike Williams. If you're in that 16%, there are other guys out there to grab. But if you want to take the chance on Cephas, hey, good on you. Best of luck. I hope it works out. So
this is going to be probably one of those guys. Detroit's going to be thrown from behind a lot, so Quintez is going to be there. I mean, everybody else is going to be covered. He's going to be there. He's going to get those garbage time points, stuff like that. So
yeah,
I'm okay with that. You can just try to temper the expectation. This is like deep bench stash. He's not going to be in your starting lineup this week. I mean, they are playing Baltimore, but is that really
worst pass defense in the NFL right now? So maybe you get something there.
Maybe Goff's going
You
off.
might get a steal. Hey, pick him up, let him play Baltimore, put up some points, and then trade him. Maybe you'll get something for him. Not a bad strategy there. So look, if you follow us on Facebook, you're in one of the many groups that we contribute to on Facebook. We did a WTF Monday, and I'm probably going to change that to a Damn It Man Monday because damn it's a little better. But
I like it.
It's where we give tribute to the players that just friggin' blew it and let us down this week. For me, that's Devonta Smith, excuse me, for Philly. I really expected him to do something big this week, and he didn't do a dang thing. I apologize to those of you who I suggested you play him. I definitely suggest you play him over Juju Smith-Schuster. Whoops. And I definitely suggested you play him over Julio Jones, and even bigger whoops on that one. So my bad for Devonta Smith. I'll eat it. I own up to my mistakes, and he burned me in 3 leagues myself. So that's my what damn it man Monday for Devonta Smith. Who did you have? It just
it's funny. I like the WTF, but I say it differently than most people. I don't know if we're that type of show, and nor will we ever. But damn it, man, Kamara, you're killing me here. Why can't you pull an Aaron Jones and get 4 touchdowns for me when I really needed it? Because for the second week in a row, I've lost by like 2 or 4 points. Like, just all I need is a touchdown or a couple more catches and yards, and you're letting me down. You are the offense, and I think everybody knows that now, and now they're just swallowing you up. So I understand. Stay healthy, because if I lose you, there goes my first round pick. So it's okay. I'm not mad. I lost. I'm okay. I can deal with it. I'm not going to panic. You're still going to be in my lineup next week. But damn it, man.
I think that we talked about teams were going to stack the box on that guy, and we are going to see what happened. But week 1 he showed out, week 2, so let's see what happens in week 3, and so on and so forth. Winston balled out week 1. Winston pulled a damn it man on me this week as well. If you had Dak Prescott, he pulled a damn it man on you for approximately 8 points or so. But I expect Dak to bounce back. I wouldn't worry about Dak too much. I think he'll be just fine.
He's got a tough matchup, doesn't he?
Say again?
He's got a tough matchup this week, so I don't know if he's going to really, really bounce back to where, the elite week 1, but I want to pick him up in a league, because it's deeper and there's so many quarterbacks out there, but I'm looking at it like he's just going to ride the bench.
I mean, you're only getting him through a trade. He's got Philly this week, middle of the road, but then he does go to Carolina. They've got, of course, the number 1 pass defense in the NFL. Then they got the Giants and New England, both, again, middle of the road defenses there before the bye week. So you still got a chance to pick up some points with Dak. Just be careful against that Carolina game. That might be a game you sit him in because Carolina is playing really well. We'll see what they do this week. I promised you guys that I would get to CEH. A lot of people are really worried about CEH, and I'm here to tell you why you're going to get why you're going to want to hang on to him for a few more weeks. Okay, look, he's RB46. He's not performing for you, but the first 2 weeks they played the top 2 of the top run defenses in the NFL, and the Browns number 9 and the Ravens number 6. So the odds were stacked against him in the first place. The ball was gonna get slung around. It would have been nice if he had some more catches, but don't worry. They've got the Chargers next, and the Chargers have the 30th worst rush defense in the NFL. Expect CEH to bounce back this week and get you some points. Play CEH. This is the week that you want to play him. Hang on to him for Philly. Sit him against the Bills, who have the 7th best rush defense, but then play him against the Washington football team, which have the 23rd worst rush defense in the NFL. When he puts up some points, week 6, trade him away, because then his schedule gets horrible. Week 7, he plays the Titans, who have the 7th best. Week 11, he's going to play Dallas. Week 13, he's going to play Denver. And 16, 17, and 18, he plays Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Denver again, who all have fantastic rush defenses right now. Get your value for him in week 6. If you want to play him this week and then trade him away, do that. Show that he is worth playing. Again, at least keep him for this week. Play him against the Chargers in that 30th ranked rush defense, and then think about trading him. But at least by week 6, get rid of this guy. But he can still get something for you.
Yeah, Kansas City is really known to have a really good starting running back. So when you're looking at this, they don't really. They've been kind of having some shootouts there lately, and they're not really focusing on the run game. So I am a little worried about him, but I think he can pull it off. He's one of those backs that are really sharp, cutting really well. He's a little bit smaller, so he's kind of weaving through the holes. Mm-hmm. I do like him.
What you want him to do?
Yeah, if you can trade for him, don't feel bad if you do. Just watch what you give up for him. And if you do have him, try to sell him high, because when you're facing a lot of tough defenses, there's only a handful, maybe top 5, and he's not one of the top 5 right now that can really punch through some of those tougher defenses. And even then, those top 5s are held, probably below 100 yards. So you got to watch out for that. So just temper the expectations, but sell high, buy low.
Yeah, and remember, stats, points over stats. So don't look at the stats so much. Get the points first. And I know CH is somebody that you wish had a little more points, but watch for him to perform this week against those Chargers. Some other guys that are kind of getting talked about. We talked about Pittman Jr. again, with or without Wentz. Still might be able to get you something. If you have him. DJ Moore, he's already owned, so you're not getting him except through a trade. but he's killing it. He's 14 of 19. He's got Houston coming up. He's got Dallas, horrible 31 ranked pass defense. Then he's got Philly, and then he's got Minnesota's 29th ranked pass defense. So DJ Moore, play him and play him a lot. He, regardless of Sam Donald, who's putting up numbers thanks to guys like that. Myles Gaskin, you can probably just go ahead and tank that guy right now. We told you not to touch Elijah Mitchell. We told you not to go after him. Some of you did. Now he's hurt. The entire backfield is hurt. Sermon's under concussion protocol. Look, it's a friggin' disaster. They're bringing people in already to try and run the ball. Mitchell's going to play next week, but nobody else is. Everybody else is out. So
is Sermon coming back? I know he's got a concussion, but they didn't really say the severity of it. I'm not. There's no more news.
I mean, it depends on if he clears, right? I mean, he's got to clear protocols. He'll come back eventually. If he doesn't play this week, he'll play next week, and you can look to maybe bank on Sermon. But to me, the whole backfield is just a disaster. And there's other places that we've already talked about that you can go. So I don't know why you would play around in San Francisco's backfield too much. But I mean, hey, maybe you'll get lucky.
Yeah, well, I actually was looking, on the Facebook page today, and someone did talk about it, and asked about Sermon, and I said that I'm going to hold on to him just a couple more weeks till he gets, a fair chance. I mean, he got the ball, ran it, got hit in the head, fumbled, so it looks horrible. And I did watch the play over and over, and I'm wondering if it's more than a concussion, because it looked like his neck got jacked up.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty rough.
So I wonder, it might be more than a concussion. Just by seeing the play, but I mean, maybe it's just a concussion and he's back this week and he's ready to go. But I'm not playing him. Like I'm just not going to play him this week. Just going to pump the brakes on that. I might hold him on in another week or two, but if he just doesn't get out there and there's somebody drops someone, I'll pick him up. But it's a bummer because I was hoping great things from him this season, and to see it just go down the drain right away was that's kind of nothing new in fantasy, right? How many people have had that happen to us where we pick up somebody and they drop right away?
That's so true.
That's fantasy for you.
Yeah, no, it's so true. So let me cover a couple. So we got Davis Mills coming in as the new starter for Houston. So if you had Tyrod Taylor, I'm sorry. Hopefully he'll be back shortly. But if you have Mark Ingram, you got the running game, you might get something. You're going to at least see some carries down there in Houston. So we'll see. Taylor's supposed to be out for about 4 weeks. Again, Davis Mills, maybe he pans out. Always got tape on him, right? Henderson's hurting with ribs. He'll probably play, but keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on Jacobs as well, Josh Jacobs, to see if he's going to come back. It actually does not look good this week. But they did all right down there covering for him. Cooper's ribs hurt, but he'll probably play. Most players come back and play with ribs, but keep an eye on it. Of course, the San Francisco backfield is a mess. Hasty's got a high ankle sprain. Sermon's on concussion protocol. Mitchell's day-to-day with a shoulder injury. Good Lord.
They probably got somebody from the Bengals practice squad, didn't they?
Say again?
I think they picked up someone from.
They brought in 2 people, and I don't even remember who it was. I think like Lamar Miller was one of them.
Okay, then in that case, Kittle's going off this week. I don't care.
That's right. Play Kittle because he's the all we got. Kittle and Debo are going to ball. Hey, Carr's hurt actually as well, but he's iffy. So watch Carr, and then Wentz. Possibly the first NFL player, they're looking back at this, possibly the first NFL player with double ankle sprains, with an ankle sprain in each ankle in the same week on the same play. They're not sure it's ever happened. I saw they were looking at it. I don't know if they've confirmed it, but that is a true story that they're actually looking to see if that has ever happened before. It's Carson Wentz. I mean, when it comes to injuries, he's looking to break those records. At least he'll break something. That's all those only records he breaks, right? Hey, look, so as we get down to the last few minutes of the show, it's one of my favorite parts of the show. We're going to talk some college football with Roop. There it is. I'm just going to swing it right on over to you. Let's get into college football.
Yes, sir. That college chaos continues, and it's, a couple weeks in, but basically everybody the top one. So we're going to kind of ignore that. There's a couple of good games coming up, but I do want to talk about the upset alert from last week on what happened. Okay, first of all, Alabama, you almost lost. Like, I didn't even pick you on the upset alert, but if I would have known it would have been that close,
Florida has got a team and they are balling. Like, don't count them out, man.
Something tells me, and I know it's like a bold prediction for later, but are all the playoff teams going to have one loss this year? Like, everybody's playing too close of games.
Well, everybody except Alabama, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure that's probably their toughest game other than the conference championship. But I mean, Florida gave a game, and it's nice to see, right?
I loved it because it was exciting because everybody wanted to take down the top 5 or 6 teams. It feels good. But maybe later in the Iron Bowl or something. So one of mine was West Virginia unranked beating 15 Virginia Tech.
Yes.
27-21, and it happened, and I called it. So, but I'm 1 for 3 because Indiana could not beat Cincinnati. Now,
man, they gave them a game though, didn't they? They gave them a game right down to the end. I was definitely watching that one. Indiana definitely had a chance to win that game. I was hoping they were going to pull it off. I haven't checked the rankings yet. I don't know if Cincinnati fell or if they moved or what. No, they're still at number 8. They actually have a tough game against number 13, Ole Miss this week. So it's possible that, like you said, one-loss teams, that Cincinnati could get that loss this week if they have that big of a hard of a time with Indiana, and they've got to play Ole Miss this week. Bearcats might go down.
Yeah, they lost 38-24, but started the fourth quarter, it was 23-24 Indiana. So I was like, wait a second, am I 2 for 2?
Yeah.
And then of course, my hopes and dreams went crashing and burning.
Of course.
Striking out there. Auburn did not beat Penn State, but if you watched that game, it was phenomenal. It was back and forth.
Yes. It was a fantastic game. I thought Penn State might pull that off.
And Penn State won. Auburn got close, but so, I like the chaos, but it just didn't happen. And Penn State ended up winning it at the end. So we do have 3 more upset alerts, and I'm going to ask my wonderful co-host if he's going to give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the choice. Oklahoma State unranked against Kansas State, number 25.
Hey, they're number 25, so honestly, anything can happen. I will jump on board that train with you. I will give Oklahoma State the thumbs up against Kansas State. I will get a co-sign on that upset with you.
Okay, the rest of them are going to be hard. That was an easy one. At least that's where my head's at. I mean, we'll see about that game. Number 18, Wisconsin over number 12, Notre Dame.
Man, I can't get on board with that one, but it's going to be a game. I hope Notre Dame struggled a little bit last week. Not that they were necessarily, I'm going to say, in danger of losing that game. But, a couple weaknesses exposed and stuff. I don't know if Wisconsin is strong enough to finish those off. But, man, Wisconsin's 1-1 right now. Notre Dame's 3-0, so there's a lot of pressure on Notre Dame. Wisconsin might be able to take advantage. I'm still going to say Notre Dame wins this game, though.
Notre Dame. Okay, let's talk about this because Notre Dame almost lost. Was it Florida State?
They sure did almost lose.
So I love Notre Dame's quarterback. I think he's going to be great. He came over from Wisconsin, and so he's going to be playing against a lot of his friends.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's at home. So, Notre Dame's quarterback kind of feels, he's probably going to be welcomed maybe or hated. Who knows? But come on, Wisconsin, you're at home. The Big Ten needs you because Big Ten's got Ohio State, Penn State. I mean, they're just going crazy over there. Like I said a long time ago, Big Ten's going to beat each other up. So this is the must-win for Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, jump around. Jump around. Let's go, Wisconsin.
And my final one is number 16, Arkansas, over number 7, Texas A&M. I want A&M to be, didn't they already beat a Texas team? So they're not even.
SEC versus SEC. Love to see it. I love to see the SEC take each other down. I would love to see Arkansas win this game.
So are you a thumbs up or?
I will give you a thumbs up. It's a hopeful thumbs up. Texas A&M 5.5-point underdog. So even the experts think it's going to be close enough. 3:30 time slot. Go Hogs. Let's go.
Yeah, let's make some chaos because I love it. I mean, like if everybody gets losses, let's make the college football committee like, oh man, we got to pick a loser, someone with a loss. Like let's make them do that. Make it harder for them. That's what I want.
I actually looked for NC State to give Clemson a game this week just because Clemson is really, really struggling. I think their confidence is down. I'm not going to call the upset there, but I think NC State's going to give more of a game than people are hoping for. Rutgers is 3-0. They're facing a 3-0 Michigan. Again, I'm not going to quite call it upset there. But I think that's going to be a good game as well. The games that you called really are probably going to be some of the top games with Cincinnati facing MSU. There's only three games this week that are ranked teams versus ranked teams, so they're obviously going to be the highlights. But upsets happen, like you said, they happen every week. It's kind of a what they call a cupcake week this week with all the big ranked teams playing teams that they definitely should beat. But if any of those happen to fail, we're going to see a nice little shakeup in the top 25. So let's hope for an upset and see that top 25, top 10 change a little bit. I think the Bearcats, I agree with you. I think Bearcats might fall out of the top 10 this week. I think it could happen. Ole Miss is strong. Don't mess with SEC.
Vanderbilt over number 2 Georgia. Who knows? I'm not probably.
Let's make it happen. Let's make that happen. Yeah,
but it would be funny. Like it'd be like, what happened? So
hey, South Carolina beat Georgia. I think it was last year. So they got shellacked this year, deservedly so. But stranger things happen. That's why they play the game, and that's college football for you. Appreciate that, Roop. There it is. I always love to talk college football with you. So I'm glad you've added that segment into the show. It's a good time.
Yes, it is. I really enjoy it. I spend way too much time out in the sun. And I'm going to do it again this week. Let's go. Let's party. Let's get those fun college games going. And let's get loud. Like I've been hearing some talk about how the stadiums aren't loud enough. So if you're a college football fan, don't be afraid to scream. Just do it. Lose your voice by the third quarter. Let's get those voices up. I mean, because it really helps your team out. Win or lose, get out there and scream for your team.
It's the masks. It's like take the mask off for the game. It's okay. Hey, look, so we've had a lot of good talks about ads, drops, trades. Go ahead and go back and watch that. Check us out every week, every Tuesday. We're going to be here. We're going to be right here for you. And we'll be posting all week long on Facebook. Come subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us out there. Even if you don't watch, we'll take a subscription for that. That's okay. We'll take the little cheap ones. But you guys should be watching because we are putting out some good information. We're putting out stuff that a lot of people are not putting out. So come check us out every week. And you know what we have that's probably better than anybody else? We have the music of Rob Machado to play us in and out, and that is some face melting stuff. Hey, Roop, there it is. It's great to see you again. Thank you so much for coming on. Best co-host in all the land right there. You can tweet him at Roop_there_it_is Roop. There it is. At Mr. Football Today on Twitter. You can email us at yackingfootball@gmail.com. Just find our Facebook page. Join the Facebook group, Yards After the Catch, and then go subscribe on YouTube, and you'll be covered. You comment and fulfill all your football needs. Roop, there it is. Do you have any final words for this?
Yeah, I do. I want you guys to have fun, talk a little trash, but be safe, everyone. And for my wonderful, wonderful host, take us home because We got to go to the waiver wires, like now, like right now.
We got to go. I got to fill out my stuff like right now. We've done too much talking. We put out too much good information. I got to get on right now. Appreciate you guys. Like you said, be safe. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time on Yards After the Catch. Later on.